Ascension, Brother Mind Ascension here. Before I speak about anything, I just want to let everybody know that when I speak from constant study, facts, history, science, biology, anatomical aspects, geography, in forms of astrology. If it's my opinion, I will let you know it's my opinion. Other than that, this is nothing about emotions. This is nothing about hate. This is nothing about anything like that. This is about pure science, facts, and accumulation of information and knowledge in order to come to conclusions about what we are, what we can be, what we have been, and what we're capable of as a people. That's all I'm here to do. That's all I am about. Anybody can do what I do. Anybody can study how I study. You know, I'm always constantly reading. My brother here, he knows how I do every day. This is a daily basis for me. This is like breathing for me. You know, and I'm on a level of speed reading now. I'm constantly listening to lectures and other master teachers. I'm always absorbing as much information as possible. I'm not here for anybody to follow me. I'm not here for none of that. All I want to do is actually express the constant information that's being accumulated in my subconscious and conscious and my left and right hemisphere, so on and so forth. So in saying that, you know, that's my little, what they call that, disclaimer or whatever when you do a video, because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm coming from hate or coming from emotions. Everything I say can be Googled right on your phone and it will come up. I guarantee you. If I remember how to spell it, I'll give you the spelling and you can Google it right then and there. I'm representing this always. So on that, usually my videos will be done where it'll be any type of setting. I don't care where I am. I don't care what the topic is. Today we don't necessarily have anybody to ask questions, but what I will do is look on my page, Mind Ascension, because I have a lot of people that want to hate. Usually it's the two-strand recessive, as we should know what that is, the so-called white people. And I get a lot of questions and so-called and comments and thereon and therefore. So on that note, I would like to start with something that I was going in about. Two-strand recessive. By the way, we must understand that everything in this current state in existence, from this nonsense about election, the country, corporation technically, we live in, from our state as a people, our mind, our spending, our lifestyle, our beliefs, our perceptions, are all under a form of control of a deficient mind that doesn't come from our indigenous mind. So we must first understand that if we don't take our mind back first, there is no economy, black economy. There is no black education. There is no all of this stuff that we keep ranting about. The mind comes first before all of that. And to be honest with you, when you accumulate and discover true knowledge yourself, all those things will fall in line like dominoes. There's no need to sit down and have this economic plan and all this nonsense. Know exactly who and what you are, and everything will fall in place. I say that to say, we're constantly talking about the white man has power, or this country is corrupt, or the government is this, or Trump is going to do this, or this is going to do that. The fact of the matter is your attention and your participation in any structure that is not built by your indigenous mind is what gives it power. This two-strand recessive, aka white people, this is how I refer to them because this is the scientific term for them. I can call them Caucasoid, which is what they call themselves. That's not me calling them that. That's what they call this. Everything I call them is what they call themselves. They are recessive gene, meaning that when they mate with us, they create another brown person. Okay, so they're recessive, we are dominant. Okay, they are two-strand, meaning that they are lower than the four-strand necessary to cross into the transition aspect of what we're going through now, which is a dimensional transition. The black person is 6 to 22 strand DNA helix. The only reason why they are 6 to 22 strand is because they've been amalgamated so many times with the two-strand recessive that it has lowered their DNA strand basis. Okay, all of this stuff could be researched and found. But once again, we have to remember that the only true power this recessive does have comes from our attention, comes from our participation, and comes from our dependency upon his so-called culture, so-called, upon his structure, upon his perceptions, and upon what we've been told by him that we feel that we need as a people, or as a so-called, well, let me not say, excuse me, scratch the so-called human race. Okay, so once again, somebody just sent me a message on Instagram. Let me see what they're talking about. You see, I love the questions, I love the comments, and I will always express myself freely, share anything I can with y'all. Information is not owned, and knowledge is not owned by anybody. It's not owned by anybody. So anything I learn can be learned by anybody else, and everything is older than I am in this physical state right now. What did I want to get into? Yes. I had a recessive. They always try to get my attention because they live and they feed off our attention. Without your attention, trust me, they do not exist. There were multiple times in our history where they were on the brink of extinction only because they could not feed off another people, because they are a parasitic race. They are parasitic people. They are parasitic humanoid grafting. Okay? This is not emotion and this is not opinion. If you look at their history, they've never had a renaissance, golden age, or height of enlightenment without another people to feed off, or without another people to uplift them. Going from 711 AD, the Moorish invasion, going to all the way to First Dynasty, which they always date to anywhere between 3800 BC to 5800 BC, with King Menes fighting back and keeping back the Tamahu, which they call them, the white pale skin, okay, the savage. These are their terms. These are not my terms. These are ancient terms. You can find it in this book as well. The savage. They build walls. It's funny how Trump talking about these walls, because we built walls for them millenniums ago. And at the same time as we fought to protect ourselves from them, we also fed them, we taught them, and we gave them provinces around our kingdoms, which today some are called Libya now. Okay, some are called what we refer to as the Middle East. Where's the Middle North? Where's the Middle South? Where's the Middle West? Okay, these are misnomers and incorrect, deficient terms given by a deficient mind. These don't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? What you call Middle East was originally Northeast Africa. Okay, so once again, when the information is controlled by this recessive, you will always get deficient history, deficient information. And now we must come to a stage where we must learn how to decode it, dissect it, break it down, and absorb it properly. You see, you can't take anything from them at 100% value. You have to take from many bits and pieces and parts and sources. I look at many sources. I don't follow one source. I don't follow one Bible. When it comes to religion, I've read the Bible, I've read the Talmud, I've the Torah, the Taoists, all of these things. You see, I make an effort to study as many things as possible in order to come to a correct, proper conclusion of what it's saying. Once again, the power of this recessive truly comes from you, nothing else. Money does not exist without you to spend it. Money has no power without you acknowledging its worth. The clothes you wear have no quality without people acknowledging that it's of quality. You see what I'm saying? So the people and the mind makes everything reality. So if somebody controls your perception of what reality is, then essentially they're controlling your reality. Does anybody disagree with me on that? So ask yourself today and every day, who controls my perception? Who controls the perception of what I think beauty is? Who controls the perception of what I feel success is? You look at me. Every day I represent myself in some way, some shape or form. Knowledge of self, you see? Every shirt I wear, down to if I'm capable of it, to my underwear, is black. Okay, black symbols, black history, black power. I mean, and by the way, for the Moors listening to this, saying, "Oh, you're calling yourself black," da, da. Yeah, I understand all of that. Trust me, I understand that this is a word that, due to Black Law's dictionary, we shouldn't represent ourselves as such because it has no nationality, so on and so forth. I understand all of that, but the fact of the matter is, prior to the existence of this so-called European, okay, we were black people. Okay, Kemet, Nubia, all these different places, they had different words to represent ourselves as black people. So therefore I will continue to use that word to represent myself. But when I am standing in this Caucasoid's courtroom, yes, I am a Moor. Absolutely. I will use their proof and documentation against them for my benefit. Absolutely. But when I'm speaking to my family, we are black people. And we are black people because the intentions behind that word has millenniums of power and intention and description behind it. So that's why I use that word. For all the Moors that might be watching this going, okay, he's another Negro saying he's black. Okay, get the fuck out of here with that. We're beyond. Okay, we are beyond this planet. Okay, and our history on this planet is almost endless, and it's only has a form of start to finish, because this planet has a start to finish. But we're not gonna go into that. Now I find that as I speak a lot of things on social networks, so on and so forth, the family, the black people that don't necessarily have an accumulated amount of specific information will either ignore me, say something to combat me as if I'm going to back up, or get emotional. When they see I don't, they run. Some people actually are intelligent enough to choose to ask questions the same way I would. When I get in front of anybody that knows something, I don't care what it's about, clothes or car, because I don't know everything. I just choose to make history and metaphysics my personal addiction. But there's people that can tell me something about a car that I don't know the shit about. There's people that can tell me something about some weed I don't know shit about. There's people that can tell me history on music that I don't know shit about. So when I don't know something, I ask more questions in order to accumulate more information. This is what intelligence will do.